Yeah,
Here we go.
they're after what's his face?
Perfect.
Yeah.
These guys are actually watching the Steelers game as I'm trying to enjoy my Carnegie Cup iced coffee. Thank you very much from that great town that brought you Hannes Wagner. Get in there, Wagner. I need a pinch hitter. And also Mike Ditka Field, and then he ends up in Carnegie. How'd that end up, Dvorak? He was born in Carnegie, right?
You got me on that one, pal. I'm just saying.
I go to the experts. No,
Yeah.
that's the case. He was born in Carnegie. There's Mike Ditka Field in Carnegie, and he ended up moving to Aliquippa so his father could work at Jones and Laughlin Steel. Now, this is my producer, Elijah McMillan, who he and I put in a very long day today, and I know how much he loves the Dallas Cowboys, and I do too. I'm a big fan of Jerry Jones, although they've had some very difficult situations this year, like losing their quarterback not once but twice, Tony Romo. They take on the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers today. So forget about this year, forget about this game. What are we going to have to do to get the Cowboys back in the headlines again, Elias? Because I believe, like some of the other historic franchises in this league, when they're winning, it's good for the game. Elias.
Well, you only got to worry about them, not being in the headlines. That's what they're known for. Winning or losing, they're going to have the headlines. So what they need to do to get into the headlines in a positive light is just to win some ball games. But just it's been a nightmare season for Dallas so far this year.
All right, the pride of Waynesburg University. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Elias McMillan. Little dap. Thank you very much. Good
Yellow
job.
Jackets. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, Dvorak, step in here. Have a
Yeah.
good weekend there, Mr. McMillan. All right, let's talk, Bobby, about the Steelers-Bengals today. Give me some of your thoughts on this football game. Steelers, by the way, getting 2.5.
I just watched the pregame. It was turned into a football game, and the fights broke out, or it was a hockey game. I'm not sure.
By the way,
No, I think the Steelers are primed to explode against this team today. We'll see, but their offensive line against the Bengals' defensive line, I think they put up some points today. They're ready to roll.
KDK Television, of course, TV2 carrying the game. It's seen nationally on CBS. Now, let's talk Central Catholic. The Vikings and the Quips are going to Hershey to play in the state championship. Yesterday, Central Catholic's defense very, very tough. Only gave up one touchdown to Cumberland Valley, and they will advance following that 24-7 win to take on Parkland in Hershey. And the Quips the day before, well, they earned their right to go to Hershey. So we got two of the teams headed for Hershey Gold. Really excited about Mike Smianik of Aliquippa and Terry Totten of the Central Catholic Vikings, his alma mater.
Yeah, Robbie, you talked about it earlier in the show about the coaching at both of those places. I mean, those guys have really become somewhat legendary. I mean, you look at the run that Terry Totten has had at Central. I don't know that there's been much that's in the era when they've been going to state championships that there's been anybody that's had a better run than Terry. So, really, Central's, we're awfully proud of what he's been able to do. He's not a guy that attracts attention to himself. He's kind of nuts and bolts, and that's the way their offense is, and that's why he gets criticized, but the son of a gun wins.
Boy, this game getting a little frisky up there, huh?
Looks like the beer hall putsch, if you ask me. And I'd say like Adolf did in Munich, keep on putching. But
Listen, stop. Just stop it right now. Anyway.
I'll be here all week trying to be
But now, it's been a busy weekend. We've been doing a lot of heavy lifting in sports. I want to talk about Mike Johnston getting let go by the Pens. What was that? What did he get, the flu or chill or something here? My goodness, he turned into Elvis. Oh, you go. Anyway, I do think that from the very beginning this was a bad hire. And I think Mike Sullivan, Boston Bruins coach, 03 to 06, recently Wilkes-Barre AHL team for the Pens, head coach there. He's a throwback, and I think that's what the Pens do the best with. Of course, Scotty Bowman. There's only one guy, meaning a Bob Johnson, who can come out of college and do what he did. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't translate in any professional sport. I actually think this is a good move for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I thought the hiring was a mistake to begin with. Yeah, you need veteran guys that know the NHL. Johnston had a great philosophy about offense and hockey, but it just didn't translate to this team and the Stars. And it just seemed to me that he had lost this team, that he wasn't in control. The other guy comes in with that booming voice and knows the league. I think it stabilizes him right away.
Bob, isn't there something unique about coaching professional players as opposed to the younger kids, and particularly when you've got a couple of stars that the Penguins have in that locker room that maybe makes a difference as to the way that you coach. And that's the only concern I have with this guy that they're bringing from Wilkes-Barre, where he's coaching the young kids, and you can do that screaming and yelling and hollering and all that stuff. I don't know that Newt Rockne would have translated to the NFL because of all the screaming and yelling and those types of things, as opposed to kind of letting them run. And I think that was the idea behind the Mike Johnston hire, was bring him in and let those guys kind of play and just have him tinker a little bit, and that may be the difference.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the award-winning journalist. Here's how I look at it, though. Not screaming and hollering at them, but these guys look at him kind of like a father figure who'd have your back in an alley fight. They just got that rough, tough, and a few scars to go along with it to let you know that the man on the bench, been there, done that, played the game, and he's kind of like your big brother or father that you can go to. And as I said, he's got your back. I think that's more of the role that they're looking for.
I'd correct you if I could, but dude, you're right on this.
Really?
It's not about yelling and screaming. It's about structure. It's about playing that game. You need speed and skill, but you also need grit. And I think this guy will preach that. And Rutherford's got to come through with that puck-moving defenseman that he said he didn't have, and that's why Johnson was at a disadvantage. So. He's got to do his job too.
Since the last time we got together, Army-Navy played too as well. They have now won 21 straight, 14 straight against Army, 21-17 the final. But the big story is Pitt takes on Navy, Military Bowl, a couple of weeks, which I'm really excited. Going to be played at Annapolis. You said on the air, Coach Narduzzi, who's got a new deal, which is great, they're going to have a tough time.
Yes, they will. And the Navy's a legit football team. And they were ranked. They were working their way up the rankings. They lost a couple of games, but that'll be a pretty good test for Pitt, especially since Navy's playing at home and with all that tradition in Naval Academy. You go into that stadium and you look up and you see the references to Guadalcanal and Leyte Golf. Like Lou Holt said, that's a tough road schedule.
Hey, we love you, Lou. All right, listen, one other thing, college football. I love Nick Saban. And Derrick Henry, running back, over 1,800 yards this year for the Crimson Tide. Just roll, baby, roll, as Mr. Namath will say on his Facebook page before they play. He, of course, went there, played under the legendary Paul Bear Bryant. Mark Ingram running in 2009, 2 Heisman Trophy winners and some national championships in his tenure there. How can you argue that this guy's one of the greatest college coaches ever? Great.
Well, he's certainly one of the greatest recruiters because he sure is bringing in the talent. And when you have the talent, you got the horses, and all you got to do is not screw them up. Question for you guys, though.
Yeah.
I didn't have the volume on yesterday. Why was Steve Spurrier in the background during the Heisman presentation? Did anybody notice that he was standing in the background?
They had him up as a guest, as a, sort of like a tribute to him because he resigned.
Okay, but it was just odd that he was standing behind there when Henry was making his speech and Saban was sitting in the audience. I thought that was odd.
The old ball coach.
I'd love to see him coach again. I love Steve Spurrier.
He won't. Though.
No, I know. He loves golf too much.
Right.
And he's paid his dues. All right, it's the Pirates winter meetings. Neil Walker, he's gone. I think that's good for Neil. Get about $10 million this year in cash in, hopefully with a big-time contract next year. The Mets really, really lucked out getting him. And also, Charlie Morton is gone. But you said on the air, Niche being picked up by the Pirates from the Mets is a good thing. As far as the Morgan deal, it's just a pitcher, a minor leaguer with Philadelphia. But some people have some high hope on him, too. So let's talk about Walker being gone and also Charlie Morton being gone.
Yeah, they've lost some pieces. A 98-win team, but some A.J. Burnett's gone, Walker's gone, Pedro's gone. They're losing some pieces. They've got their work cut out for them over the next couple of weeks before pitchers and catchers report to add some pieces because the Cubs in that division are just adding on.
Neil Walker signs back to the Pirates next year to come back and play first base for a 6-year deal.
That ain't going to happen.
No, I think if they could have worked out the contract extension, I think he would have taken a reasonable offer.
I think it's good for both the Pirates and him. Sometimes things just don't work out, and I actually think this is going to be a good move for Neil.
Like I said, though, this is nothing new. The Pirates traded Dick Groat, a Pittsburgh kid.
I'm going to add one more here because I love the NBA. Golden State, Steph Curry. Is this guy not one of the most amazing talents you've ever seen on a basketball court?
Well, he can shoot the eyes out, can he? Man, he's just a pure shooter. What a player.
Agreed, but they did lose last night.
They only play 82.
Right,
Bob, you know.
okay.
Oh, but can I tell you something?
What is that?
I didn't know that. So I'm glad you set the record
I mean,
straight.
seriously, they're like the
Get that phone. Tell him I'm not here.
they're like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. The rest of the NBA is like that.
Well, all I know is that Steph Curry can play some basketball. Anyway, somebody's phone's ringing. We got to go, folks. Have yourself a great rest of the week. And remember, that phone has to be an AT&T phone. Rethink possible. I'm just trying to think, folks. Enjoy your day.